Hello everyone, Hachadino over here, and here I am with another Slormancer video. I'm going to show you two places of gameplay in the game themselves. Now here we have the first 100 wave that I did. It's around on wave 90 something and then until the end. And as you can see, my build is using some different swords in some of these clips because mainly I'm leveling them. I did use the sword of the Nimble Warrior for most of my gameplay. Then I'm also going to use the Low Life Sword and the one that makes recast happen more and being stronger too. Now my build itself, it's likely to keep using cadence, but it's a little bit annoying on at least Adam Nostrus, and I will show you a little bit later. Mainly because of the way this little knockback that happens. Maybe I don't know if I can get tenacity and that actually makes the knockback go away. But maybe using Mighty Swing instead would be better. Now, as for my level and things like that, as I get into the end game, let's get into it. Right now I'm level 81 and this is the recast weapon that I got recently, and then I leveled what doing some battlefield and other things. Now, as for this sword, if you don't know how it works, it makes it so whenever you deal damage to an enemy with a recast, you got a recaster stack, and those recaster stacks give extra damage, and you also get 20% melee recast chance baseline, making it so we have more than 100% recast chance. It also makes it, of course, so you don't need these points that give recast chance that are over here and over um over here we have 5 and then 7, so you don't need these points over here if you use the sword. But if not, anyway, from gear, because I'm still using like level 70 something, 60 something with not a lot of upgrades, you can still get to 100. Now for that sword, very strong, getting more critical strike chance or more ancestral strike chance, mainly because that affects the second and the third mod for recasting twice and recasting thrice. My runes are the one that works with ancestral strikes, with ancestral strike damage and critical damage, and etc, and it making to proc more. Now, as for my gear, as you can see here, these are the boots that I'm going to replace with these ones, likely. And then everything will have as much life as possible and melee recast, inner ancestral strike chance, and if possible route damage and critical strike damage and other things. I'm not 100% keen on the epic stats that I want, but mostly on the magic stats I will try and get recast chance or overdrive or inner fire or critical strike or whatever I can. And for those I just go with whatever happens, mostly because I ran out of the time. I ran out of gold, and also I ran out of Slorm lines, whatever they are called. I did do some more forges and other places, and so I have a little bit more of them, but they are never plentiful. As for upgrades, most of my items right now are like +7 or something because I was doing forges and you get a lot of experience there, but they are not super high level. Of course, as you might already know, the end game of this is going full legendaries with the good crafts, but I don't have gold enough, and I also don't really know which legendaries are strong. As you might already see, I'm not following any guide or anything. And as for specializations, I'm the Hachadino champion, whatever. This is so I can get lucky things. For example, here I have lucky overdrive and inner fire. Ancestral strike is lucky, and whenever I cast a perfect or a fortunate, it does the highest skill damage possible. more damage. Sometimes I don't get off that fortunate and other thing. More ancestral and damage when I cast a perfect, or fortunate I get a swordy or the meteor. And then of course I'm also using my Slorm to get the general route damage. Now for the skills themselves, I'm using Cadence that procs Whirlwind, and that always is magnified if recasted. We have 100% recast chance right now, and even with the other sword that I plan to use, we will also have 100% recast chance. Then this is just general damage, and extra critical I have block, and I proc block with Whirlwind. When I get a critical strike with Whirlwind, I get 3 block stacks, and it can also get recasted, so I get some block stacks even in single target. And then of course Arcane Beam and Dancing Blades are some damage that get added. Now of course, most important, the Wilderness Strike. It's the one that does a lot of damage, but gets some cooldown, making it so you don't channel it, but you just use it. This one. And of course, it usually, if it hits an enemy, you recast it and it does a lot of damage. Now, for my ancestral things, right now I'm using this, but when I get the last stone, I need to get one more Reaper rune. I'm going to go into low life, getting Blood Rite and Obscure Retribution, and then likely I will also get the Dark Ritual. So I'm going to try and see if it's better to have this setup or just go from this way, because getting Shadow Shield is going to be very good. Get 25 armor and elemental resistance and things like that. And also here we have some Mana Leech. And then Blood Rite is just 10% less damage reduction. We lock 75% of our life. A little bit less if we use the talent that makes it so you lock less. And it makes it so we use this point over here that we get extra raw damage equal to our missing life. Because the sword I'm going to use eventually is going to be this one, the Primordial Sword of the Unkillable Berserker. This makes it so we get a lot of additional damage. Here you see that it does 7,000 damage, but it actually does way more when you equip it, because it gets the 249%. And of course, as you might expect, we are going to do triple this, so we will have a 31% chance to deal around like 100k damage or something like that, or a bit more. Of course, we get more life and we get more Reaper damage and things like that, it will go even higher. And I still have to get a lot of levels from the NPC that does the mechanic itself. Before I was using the this one, but the normal one, because I think this one you really need a lot of dodge or block chances or things like that, because when you get hit you lose the nimble warrior thing. But at baseline does a lot of damage, and the sister strikes do huge crazy amount of damage. Like you get something like 700% ancestral strike damage, as you can see there. There's also the sword that I'm using right now, that is this one. The Primordial one, I actually don't know what it does, but I think it's kind of good. And there's another one that you saw me playing in the Forge, that is this one, the Sword of Relentless Transference, making it so indirect damage has chance to get that extra critical strike damage. As you can see here, indirect damage can now leech, etc, etc, and it's everything that is not primary or secondary, meaning our astral retributions, the beams for the procs that we get from Cadence and Whirlwind, and the Whirlwind themselves, the beams and the dancing swords are going to get this extra damage. Their Primordial one, I actually don't know what it does. I think it will do even more damage. I will try to get it just as I level. So now my goals are to get the last Reaper Stone, doing a fortune run right now real fast, and then I will go into the net. You know, I don't watch guides or anything, so I'm very pumped and I'm having a lot of fun. Path of Exile is not until 2 weeks, so we'll have a lot of time to finish this and other things. And as always, you can check my stream. I will see you on the next video.